Now let's look at question 6. Okay, in question 6, I have to identify whether are those the nature of those distributions. Okay, but the question asks me in a different way. The question says, for which of the following distribution might you question using the mean as a measure of the center of the distribution? Okay, so the mean, the average, okay, is the center of distribution, okay, at only one condition. Okay, sorry about my bad handwriting. Okay. The mean is the center of the distribution only under one condition, that is, the distribution is symmetrical. Okay, I show you what I mean. Okay, now this is a symmetrical distribution. Okay, because if I draw a line in the middle as say a mirror image, okay, and with a symmetrical distribution, what I can conclude is the mode is equal to the median equal to the mean. This is always the case with symmetrical distribution. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to have positively skewed distribution. Okay, with the mode is less than the median, which is less than the mean. Okay, so when the median is less than the mean, we have a positively skewed distribution. This is just how we describe the shape of this distribution, or how do we describe a distribution. Otherwise, we have a negatively skewed distribution. In this case, we have the mean has to be less than the median and less than the mode. And when this happens, we should have a shape looks like that. Okay, and it is a negatively skewed distribution. Okay, if you don't have this in your notes, please write it down. Go back to the video, freeze the screen, write it down. Symmetrical, we have mode equal to the median equal to mean. Positively skewed, mode is less than the median, less than the mean. Negatively skewed, mean is less than the median, less than the mode. Okay. Write it down in your knowledge book. Okay. Then let's have a look at those 6 graphs. The question is basically asking me, okay, which one of the following are symmetrical? Okay. If they're not symmetrical, the mean won't be the center of the distribution. Okay. Now, when I look at question A, graph A is a box plot. Okay. It's not a distribution. It's not a histogram. But what we can do is we can transform it to a distribution graph. Okay. Now, the center of the box plot is around here. Okay. So most of the data are going to be in there, and the less data down at both ends. So if I transform this box plot to a distribution graph, it would look like this. Okay, it would look like this. Okay, because I have most of values in this area there. Okay, and judging from the shape of this graph, this is negatively skewed because my notes told me. Okay, my knowledge book told me this. This is negatively skewed. Okay, so A is not symmetrical, and if I look at B, B is relatively small. Okay, if I sketch a graph, it would be something like this. Okay, it's going to be approximately it's about approximately symmetrical from what I'm reading. Okay, so we can classify it as approximately symmetrical, similar to question 4. Okay, I know in the graphic calculator I said it's a little bit positively skewed, but we can. It's a dark area. Well, it's a gray area there. We can actually, for question 4, we can actually say it's approximately symmetrical. Now, for question C, it's a box plot with outliers. Question C is a box plot with outliers. So if I try to sketch it, I should have a perfectly symmetry around there, and then disappear with some with some outliers. So okay, I would conclude this is not okay. I don't think this is okay for the question. So for question C, well, it really depends on how they ask me the question. Okay. Now, if they ask me how to describe this distribution, I have to say symmetrical. Okay. This distribution will be symmetrical. But because of the outliers, I wouldn't use mean as a measurement of the center. Okay. So I wouldn't use say for graph say, I wouldn't use mean. I will not use mean as a measurement of the center of distribution because of the outliers. Okay, it is symmetrical without the outliers, but because of the outliers, if we include the outlier, it's not symmetrical. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so for question D, yep, question D is easier to spot. Question D is easier to spot. It's not a box plot, it's a histogram. It's easier to read. The first one is, I believe, positively skewed. Okay, so we can't use the mean as the center of the measurement. Okay. However, the second one is the trick one. The second one has outliers. However, if we include the outliers, because outliers is included, we cannot use the center, use the mean as the measurement of the center. Okay. If we include the outliers, it will be positively skewed. Okay. Question graph F, I believe is symmetrical. It's at least approximately symmetrical. So the median and the mean should be approximately the same or similar. Okay, so for question F, I can use the mean as the measure of the center of the distribution. So this is question 6.